Barley-Mumba drives. Shows the ball to the Newcastle right back and then takes it away again. Clips it back into the box. Josh Sargent is there. Can he finish? Another great save from the Newcastle goalkeeper. I thought that was 1-0. Have a huge episode in store today. 3 games to get to, including Redmont Rangers versus Newcastle United, the real Tyneside derby. Middlesbrough and Sunderland both languishing down in the Championship this season. Mid-table mediocrity for both sides. So we are Newcastle's closest and fiercest rivals. However, we will be without a fairly important player for today's game.
Redmont Rangers will be without star midfielder Alex Lowry for their upcoming fixture against Newcastle. Tempers flared at Rangers training facility as Lowry aired his frustrations about his lack of game time. The altercation wasn't close to becoming physical, but it's clear that Redmont manager Hans Newman believes a line was crossed. With their most creative midfielder sidelined, it seems that Redmont will be looking to Alex Betty to supply both Josh Sargent and Dane Scarlett with goals if Rangers are going to get anything out of the fixture.
So we will be without Alex Lowry for today's game. However, other than that, pretty much the strongest 11 for us as we take on Newcastle. We can take a look at Newcastle's pre-match report. They have Samba in goal, Arnau, Pau Torres, Aritz and Jamal Lewis at left back, Sewell, Joel Lunton, Lobotka, and then Chukwueze, Isak and Harvey Barnes up front. In terms of our starting 11, we are actually going with the 3-1-4-2 for this game. So the usual back three, Caceres Jr., Jamie Shackleton and Alex Petit is going to have to be the creative option in midfield in Alex Lowry's absence. Josh Key and Barley-Mumba out wide, and Dane Scarlett gets the nod up front alongside Josh Sargent. So big game. Newcastle flying high in the season so far. They are in 6th place, I believe. 6 places ahead of us. However, we host them for the first time at Redmont Arena. First time we face Newcastle in this series. Of course, there'll be a lot of firsts in this current season since it is our first season in the Premiership. We have faced a handful of Premiership teams before in the Cup and things like that. However, the vast majority of teams in the Premiership we will be facing for the first time. So a fairly ambitious attacking approach from Hans Newman, even without his most creative central midfielder. We do, of course, have other options to fall back on in terms of defensive game plans. Oh, Barley-Mumba picks it up in a good position. Dane Scarlett's in their diving header. I think that's out for a corner, and it is. Redmont Rangers fans getting behind their team early. Caceres Jr. will put the corner in. So we can go into a flat back 5 and a flat midfield 4 if we need to at any point in the game. But hopefully that's not going to be an issue. Hopefully our starting formation works well for us. Claimed by the Newcastle goalkeeper Samba. Is he an ex-Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, I want to say? I believe they had a goalkeeper called Samba previously. I may be misremembering. It may not be the same guy. But off the top of my head, I feel like maybe that's the ex-Nottingham Forest goalkeeper. Great ball from Jesse Cartwright into Jamie Shackleton. Alex Petit trying to unlock the Newcastle defence. Slipping it through to Josh Sargent, but cut out well. Jamal Lewis comes away with it. Newcastle's backline not the strongest. Pau Torres very, very good. Other than that, I don't see anyone in their defence that particularly intimidates me. Fairly good going forward. Isak up front, Harvey Barnes, Chukwueze on the right-hand side as well. And it's runs like this we're going to have to be careful of. Good block from Jesse Cartwright, good block from Caceres Jr. And Josh Sargent comes away with it. It's goals from those kinds of situations that have punished us so far this season. Good run from Jamie Shackleton. Barley-Mumba can't find him. But we can press Newcastle high up the field here, which Josh Sargent will do. Can't force a mistake, though. Alex Petit wins it back in midfield there. Sliding challenge, but can't win the ball for a second time, unfortunately. Just a talking to from the referee, and I think that's right. Don't think you need to show a yellow card there. Oh, thank God. Well, I think we've been bailed out by the referee's whistle on that occasion. Jesse Cartwright was caught napping there for a moment. Poor pass out towards Josh Key from Caleb Taylor. A lot of our defenders have had a fairly rocky start to the season. Caleb Taylor, Josh Key and Barley Mumba, none of them have been really on top of their game as we embark on our first Premiership campaign. Alex Petit comes deep to pick the ball up. I don't want him doing that too often. I would rather Caceres Jr. came to pick the ball up deep and he got the play started. Alex Petit taking up a more forward position to try and play the final passes through rather than the initial passes to begin the attacks. Alexander Bobek picks the ball up in his own penalty area. Burke Rieser. We have players up on this left-hand side, one of whom is Barley Mumba. Does manage to bring it down somehow. Cuts inside, so there are a few options, but there are just as few inside there. 3 Newcastle players just crowding him out. We've done well to hold the ball in these opening 15 minutes or so. We haven't looked too threatening. But we have managed to really neutralise Newcastle just with our ability to keep hold of the ball. And Caleb Taylor, on that note, gives it straight back. We do need those wide players just to sit in a little deeper on this particular formation, which can be an issue with the 2 players up front. And I mean, it might be a case of great defending from Burke Rieser, but the referee blows the whistle. He's given some soft ones so far today. It worked out in our favour a moment ago. Doesn't work out in our favour there. And it was a header for Chukwueze. Alexander Bobek kind of caught in no man's land there. I don't think he would have had it covered. But fortunately it goes out of play. Eddie Howe just with the t-shirt on. We are deep in the months of winter at the moment. But I guess it's kind of Newcastle tradition, isn't it? You go out to watch football with fewer clothes on than you should. I think we might just need to put Caceres on deep line playmaker or something like that. It feels like he's not on it already, but I seem to remember he should be, so perhaps he's just not really suited to that role. Perhaps he just doesn't have the best kind of positional sense for those kinds of situations, but I mean, he really should. Newcastle enjoying a little bit of possession now. Chukwueze takes on Barley Mumba. And Jesse Cartwright just clears. Bit of an awkward one though. It's going to fall to Alex Petit. He does win the header, but it does go out for a Newcastle throw-in. It's called back for an Alexander Isak yellow card, which seems harsh. Can't really pinpoint what that would have been for. Good defending from Josh Key. Harvey Barnes gets the better of him. And again, the referee blows his whistle for a reason that I can't identify. So news from down on the touchline by the sounds of it. An update on the Alex Lowry situation, it seems.
Yes, Alex Lowry has been visibly disgruntled on the sideline, and relations between the player and his manager seem frosty at best. It's been a tough start to Lowry's Rangers career, and he still can't seem to find his feet. I'll keep you posted if anything changes.
So kind of a lack of an update then, really. It's kind of as the situation stood before the game, so we'll see how that develops as the game progresses. Jesse Cartwright's just going to have to clear, and he does. Neither team really able to get a foothold in the game just yet. It's been back and forth. It's been a little scrappy. It's been good block from Jesse Cartwright. It's been the ball turning over in midfield fairly frequently, and that's Alexander Isak on a booking. Lunges into Jesse Cartwright there, and he was lucky that he didn't get more of Jesse Cartwright. He didn't win the ball, and he did make contact with Jesse Cartwright, but not quite enough for the referee to punish him. Good pressing from Dane Scarlett. Good pressing equally from Newcastle, though, and they win the ball straight back. But Risa pulling on the attacker's shirt a little there as he tried to keep him from getting past him. Good challenge, Burke Risa. Forces the ball across to the central area of the field where a shot from range just goes fairly harmlessly wide. So half an hour gone in this Tyneside derby. Josh Key trying to make something happen really for the first time. Alex Petit up ahead of him. Takes the ball down in the penalty area. Josh Key in space to cross. Blocked by Newcastle and away. They have got all 11 players in their own defensive third there. Defending very, very deep, Newcastle. But they do spring forward in attack very quickly. We're going to have to do the same with Dane Scarlett here. Nice little reverse pass. Looking for Jamie Shackleton. Cut out by Newcastle. They do have pace on the counter-attack that we need to be aware of. Unfortunately, we have been aware of that. Barley Mumba dropping in to do his defensive duties well there. And again, good defending. Alexander Bobek's just going to clear. Safety first on this occasion. Oh, Josh Sargent gets the fortunate bounce. Dane Scarlett lays it off to Jamie Shackleton. There's not too much on ahead of him. Looks for the return pass to Dane Scarlett, but cut out in the 6-yard box. That was dangerous. Game beginning to open up just a little as we begin to approach half-time. Newcastle again in behind on that left-hand side, though. Oh, really good feet from the Newcastle attacker. Jesse Cartwright manages to keep up with it. And the ball does go out for a Redmont Rangers throw. Dangerous from Newcastle down that right-hand side. Barley Mumba's doing well to, he's holding his own. That was almost a repeat of the last episode. Alexander Bobek needs to do a better job of getting the ball out of his feet and up the field. We saw that in the last episode. Smashed it against the shins of Erling Haaland. And it bounced right back into the net for a Man City goal. Almost happened again there. Got a more fortunate bounce this time, but Bobek needs to learn his lesson from those two situations. Can't have that happen again. Serres Jr. is going to have to come across and deal with this because yet again Barley Mumba's been beaten on that left-hand side. Burke Risa too. Good challenge from Caleb Taylor. And Alex Petit can come away with it. Josh Sargent wants the ball to feet. He gets it. Does find Jamie Shackleton. Again, a fortunate bounce there. Alex Petit's made a great run. Jamie Shackleton finds him superbly. Josh Key is inside. Alex Petit takes too long to get the ball under his possession. That was a dangerous counter-attack. We have players in fantastic spaces there. Shackleton did well to find Petit. Petit couldn't quite find Josh Key. Good pressing high up the field again, just preventing Newcastle from getting the ball out and up the field too early. Oh, Alex Petit gambling that the ball would be played inside, but it wasn't. Josh Sargent filling in well though, but he does allow the Newcastle player past him. Josh Key cuts it out. Caleb Taylor and Bobek clears first time on this occasion. Dane Scarlett is up the field and he takes the ball down beautifully on his chest. And Dane Scarlett is away into the Newcastle penalty area. And a great save by the Newcastle goalkeeper. Still space for Dane Scarlett to try and find a finish. But we should be 1-0 up just before half-time. What a save at the end there from Samba. to keep things level going into the break, but that really should have been a goal. Dane Scarlett looking to make his mark for Redmont Rangers. Unable to do it there, unfortunately. It's been a decent half, though. A very even game, closely contested. Both teams with chances, both teams with periods of possession. And even the match facts bear that out. Very, very even. I don't see any real need to make any changes going into the second half. So we will run out with the same first 11. And see if we can really just put in a performance similar to that we put in the first half. I think we've played well. I think the game plan is working well enough. And again, we do have other options if we feel the need to make a switch at any point. Caleb Taylor doing well just to keep up with Harvey Barnes there. Alex Petit coming across now and just cleared up the field in the direction of Josh Sargent. Cut out by Alex Petit now. And again, out for... I was going to say a Redmont throw-in, but I think maybe the referee's given another free kick as Mohamed Simakon comes on for Newcastle. Really good player. He was excellent on FIFA 23. I really liked using him last year. Alexander Bobek out to Burke Reeser. Jesse Cartwright wants it. That's not the best option, though. We have a few players over on this right-hand side, but none of them in a particularly good position to spring an attack here. Burke Reeser up to Barley Mumba. Tries to cut it outside, but defended well by Newcastle. Jesse Cartwright just about manages to keep the ball. Burke Reeser just having to clear now. We're not doing a great job of working the ball out of our own half so far. Newcastle pinning us back. That is the one issue with the current game plan. Newcastle compresses high, and with only the 3 central defenders and no wing-backs, we don't really have those outlets wide because the midfielders are much, much higher up the pitch, and Newcastle are taking those options away at the moment. So we might have to address that going forward. Worked out to the Newcastle right well. And good defending there between Shackleton and Barley Mumba. Again, Alexander Bobek gets rid of it first time, and Dane Scarlett is going to chase it down. I think Samson Tavide is going to make an appearance before too long, but Dane Scarlett in the meantime has picked the ball up, slides it through to Josh Sargent, but can't quite find him. Alex Petit picks the ball up in central midfield, clips it out towards Barley Mumba. It's a good ball. Barley Mumba can't quite keep it in, though. Good effort from Alex Petit. And cleared from Newcastle. Interesting bounce there. Caceres Jr. Josh Key is wide. I think that's just a little over hit. Josh Key does what Barley Mumba couldn't do, though, and keeps it in. Worked back over to this left-hand side. And Caceres Jr. wants the ball in that space that we wanted him to pick up in the first half. He's doing a better job of that already in this second half. Again, we're just crowded out in central midfield, though. Jesse Cartwright sprays it wide, looking for Barley Mumba. He does find him. Barley Mumba drives. Shows the ball to the Newcastle right back and then takes it away again. Clips it back into the box. Josh Sargent is there. Can he finish? Another great save from the Newcastle goalkeeper. I thought that was 1-0. But it's another very, very good save from Samba. Just coming out and really leaping at the feet of Josh Sargent to almost prevent him from getting a shot off at all. And still it remains level. Burke Reeser trying to find Barley Mumba but can't. I think it's time to make a couple of changes. Dane Scarlett's coming off for Samson Tavide. Ishmael Assar I would like to bring on. And I think I will bring him on for Barley Mumba. It's an aggressive attacking substitution. Bringing off a defender in essentially a wing-back position for more of a true midfielder, or more of a true winger. However, I feel like We're really growing into this game in the second half. And I think we do want to try and press to get the win. And I think bringing Ismail Assad out on this left-hand side could help us do that. Samson Tavide, some fresh legs on up front as well. So we'll see what difference those changes make. And it looks like... I was going to say, it looks like it's going to be a bad change. Almost handing Newcastle the lead there, but Alexander Isak puts it over the bar. That was Newcastle's clearest opportunity of the game. We've had a couple in this second half. Newcastle get one there, and we are lucky that we don't find ourselves 1-0 down. Josh Key just nods it back towards Caleb Taylor. Again, can't keep it in. It's happened too many times today. Josh Sargent nips in there and steals it away. Caceres Jr. comes away with it. Alex Petit is onside. If I see that linesman put his flag up, I'm going to be furious. He doesn't. Alex Petit into the box, pulls it back. Josh Sargent buries it, and it is 1-0 Redmont Rangers. Finally, we get the breakthrough, and of course, it is Josh Sargent who gives it to us. One back by Caceres Jr. Lofted forward to Alex Petit. And in the real Tyneside derby, it is Josh Sargent who breaks the deadlock. The goalkeeper maybe should have done better there. It was fairly close to him. He just couldn't get across. And Josh Sargent puts Redmont Rangers 1-0 up. 25 minutes roughly from time. 7 goals now in the Premier League. A good tally so far. And the Redmont Rangers fans are in full voice now. So we have the lead over 6th place Newcastle. And we do get the offside flag in our favour this time. Ismail Assar now. Over to Jesse Cartwright and Caleb Taylor. We may need to make another change at some point if we do want to go slightly more defensive as we approach the end of the game. We do have Kieran Trippier on the bench that we can bring on. Nice ball into the box towards Samson Tavide. Sounds like another update from the touchline, potentially on the Alex Lowry situation. So let's find out what that's about.
Josh Sargent's goal seems to have relieved any tension that might have been lingering between Hans Newman and Alex Lowry. Both leapt from their feet when the ball hit the net, and there was even a brief embrace as the manager returned to the bench. A storm in a teacup after all, perhaps.
So it sounds like things aren't quite as bad as maybe they first seemed in Redmont. Alex Lowry and Hans Newman managing to, find some sort of a truce. Alex Lowry still likely an important part of Hans Newman's plans this season. And he has been slightly unfit at times, so perhaps that's just been the issue and the reason he's been out of the side. And we'll see if he makes an appearance in any of the upcoming fixtures. Going to have to defend well here, though. Caceres Jr. again taking up a good position. Josh Key cutting it out. Just gives it straight back to Newcastle, though. Looking to clear, but couldn't put it into a safe enough place. Caceres Jr. again can't get rid. Well worked from Newcastle, and it's a shot from range that Alexander Bobek just has to parry away. Bit of space for Newcastle in the box now. And it's again parried away from Alexander Bobek. A good save. And Jamie Shackleton. Ismail Assar is being held up there. The Newcastle player has got a handful of Ismail Assar's shirt, preventing him from getting into an attacking position. And how we don't get a free kick for that one, I do not know. Good save, Alexander Bobek. 3 good saves in a row there from the Redmont goalkeeper. Newcastle about to make a change, and I think we're going to do the same. I do want to drop into that defensive game plan, so I'm going to go back to 5 at the back, which means Kieran Trippier on for... I'm going to go with Alex Petit. Caceres Jr. I don't think we can afford to bring off just yet, so that's going to be the only change that we make. One substitution and a change of shape here for Redmont Rangers as we approach the last 10 minutes of normal time, at least, in this game. Good performance from Alex Petit today. We have given him central midfield as a secondary position, so although he's primarily a winger for us this season, he will be filling in central midfield from time to time, like today, and he's done a really admirable job of it today. So he should just be sitting in a little deeper in this 5-4-1 defensive game plan. Hopefully, should be robust enough to see the game out from here. Twisting and turning into the penalty area in Newcastle, though. Josh Sargent picks up the ball from Jamie Shackleton, and he can come away with it. Just squares it to Jamie Shackleton. I think it was intended for Samson Tavide there. Jamie Shackleton took it on himself, and really, if he would have let that go, we could have been away. Samson Tavide was in space. A lot of pace from these Newcastle attackers, though. Burke Risa makes a challenge. Alexander Bobek comes out to deal with it. And Ismail Assar can't quite get there. Newcastle continue to put us under pressure. Strike from range and buried. What a finish. What a finish from Alexander Isak. And we can't hold on to the 1-goal lead. Buried into that bottom corner. Yep, a really good finish. Jesse Cartwright can't quite get a leg on it. Bobek can't quite get his hand on it. And it is Redmont Rangers 1, Newcastle United 1. I mean, it's been coming. I feel like that's undeserved. But Newcastle have put us under pressure the last 10 minutes or so. And they do finally get on the scoreboard. I mean, a draw wouldn't be the worst result. I would like to start picking up a few wins in the Premier League, but I feel like as we continue to play these big clubs and continue to at least put points on the board, I don't think we can complain too much. You know, a point against Man City in the last episode, at the Etihad no less. Really well worked and a really good save. Newcastle are tearing us apart at the moment. Great intervention from Jesse Cartwright. Josh Sargent trying to make a nuisance of himself. I think we might need to drop into ultra defensive for these last couple of minutes. Ceres Jr. wins it. Samson Tavide picks up the ball and Ismail Assar can come away with it. Does he have the pace to get in behind Newcastle? He does. He's all on his own though, Ismail Assar. Cuts inside, lays it off to Caceres Jr. on the edge of the box. Spreads it wide to Josh Sargent, who's in a good position. Can't bring it down, but he can muscle his way into the penalty area with the ball. Well worked to find Jamie Shackleton in space. And there he is! Samson Tavide at the back post and finds a winner! 90th minute of the game. And Redmont Rangers take the lead for the second time. Samson Tavide this time, the substitute coming on. But that goal was made by Ismail Assar and then by Caceres Jr. Relentless approach on that counter-attack. Eventually finding Jamie Shackleton, who put in a fantastic ball to the back post. And Samson Tavide could not miss from there. It was a header from 5 yards out with a wide open goal. And it's 2-1 Redmont Rangers into injury time. What an ending to this game. Can we hold on? Ultra defensive. We should have maybe 2 minutes left. 2 minutes of injury time left to elapse. Kieran Trippier comes out to defend the cross, hopefully to stop the cross. Ismail Assar doing the same, doesn't stop the cross, but Bobek does claim, and I think we can waste the last 30 seconds of time here. Just going to put the ball down and then eventually clear with Bobek, and that should be the referee's whistle. Josh Sargent could be in behind for a third though. Josh Sargent into the penalty area, strikes across goal, can't make it 3. Samson Tavide was there for the pullback. Josh Sargent didn't even look at him. Was trying to bury it in that far corner, but the goalkeeper did well. And surely this is going to be the final whistle blown as soon as the goalkeeper takes this goal kick. And it's not. But upon Caleb Taylor's header, the referee does blow the whistle. And it's 2-1 Redmont Rangers at Redmont Arena. I said I wanted to start picking up some wins. Samson Tavide evidently heard me, because he obliged by putting the ball in the back of the net from 5 yards out and making it 2-1 Redmont Rangers and putting 3 points on the board rather than just the one. Really, really good performance throughout, to be honest. I mean, I said when Newcastle drew level, I said we're going to have to be happy with that. We can't complain too much if we just come away with a draw. And you can see their possession very even. Passes attempted very even. Newcastle had twice as many shots as us, though. And they were carving us open, really, at times in that second half. Bournemouth defeat Sheffield United 2-0 as well in the battle of newly promoted teams. But a really, really good performance. That's exactly what we needed. It's not been the best run of form for us recently. We had an episode not too far back when we lost all 3 games in the episode. We've had the odd draw here and there. But I feel like, as we just said there, potentially this can be a bit of a turning point and we can kick on from here and really start putting some points on the board. Samson Tavide apologising for the role he played in the game, but I mean, he scored the winner against Newcastle. So, not really sure what he has to, complain about or to feel sorry about. So, 2 games left in the episode. I think we are going to see the return of Alex Lowry for this game against Brighton. So, we're going to bring Jamie Shackleton out for Alex Lowry. We're going to put Samson Tavide on the bench, and we are going to start... I think Bert Greaser can start, actually. But we will put Jamie Shackleton on the bench and Brendan Clark. So, quick sim in this game against Brighton, of course. Chelsea, the other team that we have to face in this episode. Verbruggen in goal for Brighton. Mason Greenwood out on the right-hand side for them. Adingra starting on the left. An exciting young Brighton player, Kasunu, at centre-back as well. So not a massive amount of change. Well, no, a fair amount of change in the Brighton team, but there are a couple of recognisable faces in there. So let us quick sim this game at the Amex, which we actually lose 2-1, unfortunately. Alex Petit scores early, but 2 goals from Brighton. Bring it back level and then give them all 3 points. A lot of 1-alls in the Premier League there. Never really seen that before. 4 identical results. So after the win against Newcastle, losing against Brighton doesn't feel so bad. But Brighton, a team that really I think we could be expecting to win. Kieran Trippier, we do only have him on a 1-year deal. I'm not massively interested in extending him. Jesse Cartwright is up to a 77 overall, I've just seen there. He's made such good progress. He's easily been our best youth academy product so far. I'm going to put Samson Tavide up front. I'm going to put Dane Scarlett on the bench. And I will put Atkinson on the bench as well. I'm going to continue with Lowry in midfield rather than make the change to Matthew Garbutt. But one last game to quick sim here, which is against Chelsea, who have Petrovic, Heinrichs, Lamar on the left-hand side, a generated player up front in Dieng. They've got Miguel Almiron on the right-hand side. Not a strong Chelsea side at all. Looks like one of the weakest Chelsea sides in quite some time. So we could actually get something here at Redmont Arena against Chelsea. Nope, we can't. We get kind of smashed 4-2. Tavide scores, Brendan Clark scores. But a couple of goals in quick succession in the first half. And then one just after half-time. Really was the difference in the game. So 3 points from a possible 9 today. It's not the worst return, to be honest, considering we played Newcastle and Chelsea within those 3 games. before the episode, I would have certainly taken 4 points. I would have settled probably for 3. I would probably have predicted losses against Newcastle and Chelsea and a win over Brighton, possibly with a draw against Newcastle being the prediction. But we beat Newcastle and end the episode with 3 points. So not the worst return, not the best, but should be enough just to keep us in mid-table. As long as we stay out of the relegation zone this year, I'm going to be happy enough. Certainly not setting our sights on Europe or anything silly like that. A top half finish would be above expectations, I think. Nathan Foster is the first real youth academy product we might have hit on this year. Overall is 58 to 78. I think it's, I mean, he's worth 1.5, but his attributes on the right hand side there don't look amazing, so I'm not sure where that's going to fall. But 74 to 94 potential. We'll take a look at him in just a second. Ed King as well, we get 2 in a row. 57 to 77 with again a 94 potential, but 82 potential is his floor according to the scout. Jackson Ball looks like he might be worth adding as well. So I didn't mean to add that last player. It just sometimes it lags a little bit. It wouldn't let me go down and reject him. So we'll probably just clean him up here. So who did we sign here? It was Ed King was one of them. So a 64 overall, 82 to 94 potential, 0 to 3 play styles, high defensive work rate. Doesn't look that good defensively though at the moment. Looks more of an attacker midfielder, and he is a cam with centre forward as his secondary position. So it would be good if we could get that attacking work rate up just a little. Nathan Foster was another one. So a 65 overall. A left winger at the moment. 1 to 4 play styles with high attacking work rate. Good pace, good passing, good dribbling. So looks a bit like an Alex Petit type, to be honest. And then Jackson Ball was the other one. 70 to 94 potential, just a 57 overall at the moment. 5-star weak foot, but low work rate, 0 to 1 play styles. Looks like a player who's probably not going to hang around for too long, to be honest. So our 2 best Youth Academy products have been added in this scouting report window. Jake Walters looks decent as well. Owen Dalton, 5-star, 5-star. Looks fine. Our right back also looks very good. Let me just show you our right back again, because I think I kind of slept on him a little bit when we talked about him during the off season. So he is just a 66 overall at the moment. But he's got 70 physical, 69 pace, 65 defending, high work rates, and 5 different play styles: dead ball, long ball pass, block, intercept, and slide tackle at just 17 years old. So if we can get his overall up a bit, maybe we have a replacement for Josh Key in-house already. So he actually looks really good. So out on loan this year, we'll see how he develops. But yeah, potentially we could have another bright young prospect there. So quick look at the table and at the calendar before we finish up as usual. Newcastle in 11th place, so they've dropped a significant amount since the beginning of the episode. We sit in 14th place on 17 points, which is 5 points above the drop zone that currently contains Burnley, West Ham, and Sheffield United. Bournemouth have hit a decent run of form. They're a point ahead of us, a couple of places ahead of us in 12th. And the top of the table, not that it really impacts us at all, but Spurs sit in first place. Man United, Arsenal, and Man City round out the Champions League places, with Everton currently in a Europa League place, but Leeds hot on their tail. Same with Fulham and Aston Villa. So in the next episode, we will be taking on Nottingham Forest, top of the table Spurs, and we have another fixture against Manchester United. I feel like we've played them 3 times already this season. It must just be the twice, though. We lost 4-0 to them in the league, and that is the only time that we've played them. Why do I feel like we've played them again? Maybe I just saw the fixture announced previously, and I'm thinking we've played them already when we haven't. So Nottingham Forest at home, Spurs away, and then Manchester United in the Carabao Cup. This must be the quarterfinals, so I think that might be the game that we play, to be honest, and simulate the league games. So we can always decide on that in the next episode. I Appreciate you tuning in. As always, we will look forward to these next fixtures in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.